Benjamin Sterling Turner spent the first 40 years of his life enslaved. When he was freed at the end of the Civil War, he entered the civic life of his hometown of Selma, Alabama, and 5 years later, he became the first African American in Alabama to be elected to the U.S. Congress. He ran on a platform of racial justice and racial healing and binding up the wounds of war.
My campaign slogan would be universal suffrage, universal amnesty. Some of my constituents were surprised by my opposing punishment for those white neighbors who fought valiantly for the Confederacy. But they too had suffered immeasurably, and I felt they should not be further punished. I favored the right to vote for all former slaves. I believed in mixed-race schools so every child could achieve an education.
There were other African Americans who served in the Reconstruction Congress who wanted to do the same thing. And they offered a vision of possibility for America that, had it been heeded, would have put us far ahead, I think, of where we are today. Their vision did not carry the day during Reconstruction, and yet there it was, and it should be celebrated because of the wisdom it contained and the lessons and possibilities that I think it offers even today. My co-author, Marty Rosner, and I have written about this in a children's book called The Slave Who Went to Congress. And with our publisher, New South Books, we have begun this fundraiser to try to get the book into the hands of as many young readers as we can. Specifically, we would like to get a copy into every elementary school in the state of Alabama. And then, if money permits, we'd also like to build on the work of Congresswoman Terry Sewell, who represents Selma today in the U.S. House of Representatives. Back in February of 2020, she presented a copy of The Slave Who Went to Congress to all the fourth graders of Clark Elementary School in Selma. Marty and I were there for that presentation. And we would like to make copies available to other fourth graders in Selma if it's possible to do that. So help us out. Go to our GoFundMe page and look at the different perks and prizes that you could get, the different levels of contribution that you can make, and see if we can't make this happen for as many young readers as possible in our state and maybe in other places as well. It's a story of inspiration. It's hard history told through a story of inspiration, and we think young people need to know it. Thank you.